MNFL, what's happening? What's happening? We are back. We're back. Season 8. Season awards for the Season 8 Madden 20 season. We're back with it, man. We're back with it. We're going to show these awards real quick. The season has ended. We're in the wild card round right now. And we're going to get these games going, and we're going to hopefully crown a Season 8 champion and end Madden 20 on a good note. Appreciate everybody's time and efforts and support and dedication to the league, man. I thank y'all for a good Madden season. You know, we had some ups the road, up and down, but overall it was a great season, and everybody stuck in pretty heavy. We have a lot of turnover and a lot of drop off, so I appreciate everybody's time and energy, man. And we're gonna get into these awards and see who got what and see who grounded out their last little bit of the season, and see who won what, and you know, who gonna get that XP at come Super Bowl time. All right, let's show it up. All right, starting with the MVP award, we got Mr. Todd Gurley coming in hot and heavy with the award. He was running the ball hot and heavy all season. Patriots ended up being 11-5, and Todd Gurley was the MVP of the league. He's definitely put up big numbers this year, stayed healthy for a change, and you know, there was always questions whether or not he's gonna make it through the whole season, because you know he's pretty injury prone in Madden, and so you know, definitely shouts out to him and Proto for getting him on the field and getting those numbers and allowing him to win the MVP award. All right, next up is Coach of the Year. Mr. James St. Patrick, aka Joe Gibbs, won Coach of the Year with a 14-2 record. So shouts out to him. I believe he has the 2 seed in the NFC playoffs right now. So he's sitting on the bye waiting for his opponent, but we'll see how that works out. All right, so let's move on to the AFC. Starting off with the AFC Offensive Player of the Year is again Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley posted up some mean and numbers here. And as a matter of fact, let's pull up these numbers real quick. Let's see what Todd Gurley finished with as far as stats are concerned, since we're talking about the man. So we're going to go to Daddy Leagues real quick on the side here. And looks like, interesting enough, Todd Gurley did not win the rushing title on the AFC or NFC East side, however, but he did put up 28 touchdowns. So he had 323 carries, 2,108 yards rushing, 6.5 yards carry, and 28 touchdowns. I think that's what pushed him over the top. Is the touchdowns. Touchdowns seem to hold more weight than actual yardage. So, you know, something to keep in mind. But yeah, definitely, Todd was the man that went Offensive Player of the Year as well as the MVP. And he is followed up by Wesley Hobbs and Christian McCaffrey in third. All right, so moving on to the Defensive Player of the Year, Devin White. Devin White put up some gaudy numbers this year for the Bills. He was second in defensive overall stats. He had, looks like 11 interceptions, 64 tackles, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble, followed by Mr. Devin Bush. Now, this is interesting because the Devin White, who they both drafted in the same year, Devin White unseated Devin Bush this year. Maybe had a little bit of an issue with the Steelers having a down year. But Devin Bush had 10 interceptions, 57 tackles. And so yeah, he definitely unseated Mr. Bush here. He normally is the one to win Defensive Player of the Year because he's just super fast, and when he had Enforcer working, it was really troublesome. But yeah, definitely got the award over him this year. That's a surprise. All right, moving over to Offensive Rookie of the Year, Kari Floyd, drafted by the Ravens. I think he was either star or superstar development when he first came out. He's been starting all year for the Ravens, and the Ravens posted a 13-3 record, and they're definitely doing work out there. He's calling them in Teague and those boys out there. So he's definitely moving the rock and getting his numbers. So Kyrie actually finished. Let's see if we can pull up his numbers real quick. Let's see what Kyrie had. He plays for the Ravens. That's all right. He actually looked like he led the team in yardage. He had 838 yards on 39 receptions and 10 touchdowns. So yeah, definitely some good numbers for him. So yeah, shouts out to Kyrie for winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. All right, so Defensive Rookie of the Year, Marcel Griffin is for the CPU Colts. So you're not going to talk about that too tough. I mean, Colts was a CPU team all year, so you know the CPU got their numbers and this, that, and the third. So it is what it is. So yeah, we'll move on from that. Best quarterback is Will Grier. Will Grier actually snuck up on Bradley Cobb at the end because Bradley Cobb was leading this for most of the end of the season. Will snuck in and got that a CPU sim win and got some numbers over Bradley and end up winning the award, which is wild. So, well, look at Will Greer's numbers real quick. Let's see what Will Greer numbers he posted throughout the season. All right, Steelers and Mr. Greer. Mr. Greer had 3,934 yards passing. He had 35 touchdowns, 25 picks. Whatever, 100.7 quarterback rating. So, shouts out to him. All right, so Bradley Cobb was second and Brendan Till was third. Best running back to nobody surprising as regards to Todd Gurley. We went over his numbers earlier, and his other two counterparts, Hobbs and McCaffrey, came in second and third. All right, so moving on to best wide receiver, Curtis Samuel from the Raiders, who eked out Marquise Hollywood Brown for the award this year, followed by Deshaun Sparks in number 3. Let's look at Curtis's numbers real quick. He's been playing pretty good ball for the Raiders the last couple of seasons since he came over in free agency from the Panthers. Let's see what Mr. Samuel's numbers were. Because Dad Lee wants to move slow when you're trying to record. Wow. No, this is a runaway. I'm not even sure what. We're going to look at Marquise Brown's number because I want to see the comparison. But Curtis Samuel's numbers, so he had 112 receptions, 2,225 yards receiving, and 19 touchdowns. Wow. So he ran away with that award, in my opinion. But let's just check. I know that Deshaun didn't have any numbers close to that. So I'm going to look at Marquise Brown to see what type of numbers he put up. But that's a lot of passing to that man. Wow. Okay, so the next closest was Hollywood Brown with 62 catches, 1,542 yards receiving, and 13 touchdowns. So yeah, Curtis Samuel's gonna run away with that all day, every day. So yeah, shouts out to him. All right, O-line, we got Connor McGovern won the best O-line award. All right. And the best D-lineman was Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, let's see what type of numbers he put up for the Browns. Browns had an up and down season. They started off hot and heavy and kind of fizzled out at the end. A lot of EA's doing. I keep telling Jarrell that the EA hates the Browns, but you know he keeps rocking. You know he's a loyal fan, so I should give it to him. He still does work despite them not loving him too tough, but they didn't love him at all this season. I tell you, the streams I saw, I mean, we're talking about broken controllers and all that kind of stuff because it was just disrespectful. But yeah, so we're gonna get to Mr. Garrett. He had 50 total tackles, 25 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. So yeah, definitely put in work out there. And the Jags, the interior linemen, Josh Allen and Pierman, Ali Pierman had a second and third in that vote. All right, so best linebacker, Jared Garrison. Now I know Jared Garrison firsthand. I have to face this man twice a year, and he's a handful. He definitely wrecks my offensive plans a lot of times because he is a problem on the edge. He's an outside linebacker style player, but he's definitely a linebacker by stock. But I think he plays mainly on the D line, and he racked up 63 tackles this year, 25 sacks, 1 forced fumble. So yeah, he was putting in big work. Followed by Devin Bush and Devin White, and 2 and 3 on that. All right, so moving on to DB, J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson wins the award for best DB of the year, and we'll see what his numbers look like. All right, Pages definitely got a lot of fanfare up here as far as awards are concerned this year. I think this might be Proto's best season. He's by far. So rightfully so. You got guys on here that's getting awards. So Gurley beasting on offense and J.C. Jackson beasting on defense. So JC got 43 tackles, 3 sacks, and 9 picks. So yeah, that's it. And he beat out Jalen Ramsey and Levi Wallace for that award. So yeah, that's it. Best kicker ended up being Jason Sanders from the Jags. All right. So we'll move on to the NFC. Let's see what the NFC did over here. We'll go to offensive player real quick. Ezekiel Elliott is number 1 offensive player of the year. Another runner. Let's see what Joe had to do with Ezekiel Elliott's numbers. So Mr. Elliott had 282 carries, 2,151 yards rushing, 27 touchdowns, 7.6 yards per carry. Wow. I tell you, they're putting in a lot of work on the ground game is all I can say. A lot of work on the ground game. So, what can you do? What can you do? But yeah, that'll get Ezekiel Elliott's award real quick and real fast. So we'll move on to defensive player of the year, which is not my surprise at all. I mean, it was a fight between Severius Moore and Kevin Thurston, but Kevin Thurston edged out the award. Let's see what Kevin Thurston's numbers were. Outside linebacker rusher style for the Panthers. All right, he's steady putting up numbers over there. I'm not sure what happened to this other outside linebacker, Brian Burns. Yeah, Brian Burns. It looks like he joined a lot of double teams, giving Kevin a lot of work over there because Brian Burns not put up the numbers that Thurston has been put up the last couple of seasons. So the leading off that, look at this. This is interesting. Thurston had 43 tackles, 26 sacks, 3 forced fumbles and a pick. Burns had 17 sacks. So yeah, I mean if you double Burns, then Thurston's gonna be free. So there it is. All right, so offensive rookie of the year is Garrison King from the Vikings. I'm curious if Garrison King, I didn't really come on my radar. What position does he play? Let me take a look at this real quick. Vikings. Garrison King. Let's see. You play Buddy Boy? I think he's a defensive player, but oh no, Garrison King's actually a running back. He posted up 799 yards and 10 touchdowns. So yeah, pretty decent numbers on sharing carries out there with another running back by the name of Lynn Talton. So they sharing carries, but he definitely putting a lot of work in. At least enough to give him the Rookie of the Year award. All right, defensive Rookie of the Year is Keyshawn Isaac, the linebacker I showcased in the Rookie Review. He's definitely, although the Eagles had a rough season, to say the least. But yeah, Keyshawn definitely was a beast. I mean, he's one of those things which I'm sure you wish you had him earlier in the year or earlier in the Madden season, because he definitely would have been a mainstay in the middle of your defense. But overall, he is a 6'3" linebacker. He's 232 pounds, 87 speed. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely a beast out there. Definitely a beast. So I think he racked up. Let's see what his stats were. Looks like he racked up 37 tackles, a sack, and a pick. So yeah, I mean, he was definitely doing work out there. I mean, I'm thinking that'd probably be solo tackles versus anything else. But yeah, I mean, what can you say about the guy? I mean, he definitely was a bright spot in a rough season that the Eagles had. But yeah, that was definitely some good numbers, enough to win him Defensive Rookie of the Year. So yeah, 37 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 pick. So yeah, that was enough. All right, best quarterback, Raymond McDaniel, the quarterback for the Panthers, racked up a 13-3 record for the Panthers, and let's see what Mr. McDaniel's numbers were. All right, he racked up 4,136 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, and 24 picks. He had a 117 QBR rating. So yeah, that definitely was enough to eke out Dwayne Haskins in that regard. And ironically, the Panthers and the Redskins play each other first round of the wild card, so we'll see who's the better quarterback. All right, so let's move over to the running back real quick. No surprises, Ezekiel Elliott. We went over his numbers. He's definitely the best running back. If you win Offensive Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, you would definitely win Offensive Best Running Back. So yeah, it's definitely not a surprise there. But Saquon Barkley came in second, and Roosevelt Drew came in third. All right, so moving over to best wide receiver, DJ Moore for the Panthers. Mr. Samuels moved on, obviously. There was a good tandem with him and DJ Moore for a while in Carolina, but he had to move on to free agency. So Mr. Moore took the award home for best wide receiver. He racked up 63 receptions, 1,629 yards receiving, and 17 touchdowns. Yeah, that was enough to eke out Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was putting up numbers as well for the Saints. The Saints made a live push at the end, and they were able to make the playoffs. But largely due to Tyreek Hill being a big threat on the field. But this is interesting because Tyreek actually had more receiving yards, but I think DJ Moore had more touchdowns because Tyreek had 13 touchdowns, but he had 1,739 yards receiving and almost 72 receptions. So touchdowns will win it all. If you're close in yards, you got more touchdowns, then you're definitely gonna win the award. It looks like. All right, so best old lineman was Zach Martin. No Cowboy, no surprise there. D lineman, Aaron Donald, again, he had no surprise there. I mean, do we even have to discuss his stats? I mean, he's just been a monster in his whole entire Madden cycle. So, he's a beast in real life. He's a beast on the game. So, hey, man, that's that guy. He's definitely will wreak havoc in the middle and cause a whole lot of disruptions. And interesting enough, I'm looking on this sheet here. Where's this number set? Oh, there it is. Aaron Donald, 40 tackles, 18 sacks. By him, far and away the most sacks on the whole entire team with 3 forced fumbles. So yeah, he's the man. Alex Booker came in second, and Damian Wilburn came in third. All right, best linebacker again, Kevin Thurston. We already went over his numbers. He was definitely a beast out there. Defensive player of the year and best linebacker. Blake Van Der Esch and Tack McKinley was second and third. All right, so Travaris Moore, who was in the conversation for defensive player of the year, although Kevin Thurston took over his spot, but he's definitely the best DB of the year. He had a great season. I think he's a safety for the Niners, and he was definitely a wide range, tall, rangy DB. He can definitely play in the box and still get over top when it comes down to making plays in the secondary. So he racked up some decent numbers. He had 39 tackles with 15 picks. Wow. 15 picks and a forced fumble. So he had 3 took back to the house. So he definitely had a great season from the safety spot. Dante Jackson and looks like Evan Davis came up in second and third in that regard. And to follow it up at the end, best kicker was Rick Burks for the Saints. All right, so that'll wrap up the picks for the season awards, and we'll get into a couple of predictions here. Looks like we have first round matchups for the NFC. We have the Panthers and the Redskins. And I believe the next matchup, man, if I'm not mistaken, let me look at here. Look at these standings. Conference. So the Panthers and the Redskins play first round, and I think the other matchup is the Niners and the Saints. So it looks like the Niners and the Panthers have home games against the Redskins and the Saints. So if I had to be a betting man, I would definitely say I think the Niners will take the game over the Saints, and the Panthers will beat the Redskins, which will set up an interesting second round matchup because that will make the 3 and 4 seeds advance. So the 3 seed and the 1 seed will play the Lions versus the Niners and the Cowboys versus the Panthers. Interesting enough, I mean, people watch out for the Lions, man. I mean, the Lions definitely making a lot of quiet noise. Before they racked up a 14-2 record very quietly, was beating good opponents, and they definitely trying to make their name for themselves in their second season in the MNFL. So look out for the Lions, man. But that Cowboys-Panthers matchup. Well, no, I take that back. It'd be the Lions versus the Panthers, and then it'd be the Cowboys versus the 49ers. Now, I can't call that. I can't call it. I would like to believe that the Panthers will probably beat the Lions and the Cowboys will probably beat the Niners, but that game didn't go either way. I mean, Joe has been on a mission this year as far as, executing, running the ball and doing this normal thing. So who is going to win those 2 matchups? And we'll have to see. I mean, if I'm forced to choose, I would probably say, and it seems like if I'm doing this, I'm motivating a lot of people, so we should get a real good game out of these. So I would have to say the Panthers beat the Lions and the Niners beat the Cowboys. Yeah. Which will set up a interesting matchup because the Panthers seem to have the 49ers number in the playoffs. So if they face each other, typically the Panthers edge that out. But can the 49ers right the ship and finally beat them? They did beat them in the regular season, finally. So we'll see how the game shakes out. Would Jokey can get the Jokey magic or finally, hit the bad luck early instead of the Super Bowl? We'll see. But I think the 49ers might take it, man. I think because the game will be played in San Francisco if they played. So hey, I think the Niners finally get some retribution. I think like Shannon Sharp say, I want my restitution. I think the Niners end up beating the Panthers in the conference title game. We'll see. All right, so that leads me to the AFC. All right, so with first round matchups, we have the Jags versus the Chargers. We have the Patriots versus the Bills. Now, these 2 matchups are very interesting because the Chargers got beat by the Jaguars, and ironically enough, in the playoffs last year. Controversially or not, they definitely beat them. And, they did beat them, come back and beat them in the regular season, this particular season coming into this season. But, I'm sure the Chargers want their restitution as well. They want their restitution against the Jaguars for upsetting them in the playoffs last year. So my money's on the Chargers. Now, that leads me to the Patriots and the Bills matchup. The Patriots and the Bills matchup should be interesting because they played each other in a division clearly twice a year, all right? And in this particular go-around, the Patriots beat the Bills twice this year. So, is it the Madden, feel as far as, real live NFL is concerned? Because it's hard to beat opponent 3 times in a row. So does the Bills edge out the Patriots, or do the Patriots fall again to the Bills? I'm going to say the Bills get that one. I think the Bills get that one. So that will make it a matchup between the Ravens and the Chargers and the Bills and the Titans. Right? So with that being said, let's show a quick video. Let's show a quick video here. Make sure it's displayed on the screen here. All right. I would say my money's on the Browns.
Where do I expect myself to finish? Higher than Jarrell.
Yeah, bro.
He said,
How did that start?
I'm a quote. He said, my money's on the Browns.
How did that start? Stop saying it's a scoff. Say scoff. Scoff. And there you have it. And there you have it. So, with that being said, that was from the Ravens. All right. Mr. 2 seed. You know, I'm having my best season in Madden this particular year. All right. This particular season. And he definitely put up a lot of numbers. He's definitely beat his arch nemesis twice this year. And he's trying to make some noise in playoffs. He said he got to get one, right? And I know I've been giving him shit all year about his, you know, his play and, you know, how he always lets me down when it really matters and all that kind of stuff. And I always give him praise and all that kind of stuff. And he made that video, you know, largely over with my voiceovers saying that, you know, I picked the Browns over him and I'm going to regret it and this and the third. And let's see. If I happen to beat the Jags, I get the Ravens first. So how crazy would that be that you got to see me in order to advance? So we're going to see. We're going to see. Because I'm not even going to make no predictions on it. I'm sure he'll stream the game or whatever the case may be, but I'm not even making no predictions on that game, but that'll be ironic. Making videos about folks and all that kind of stuff because I picked against you and all that stuff, and all of a sudden now you got to see me if I beat the Jags. So we'll see what happens with that. You know, if the Bills beat the Patriots, they got to face the Titans. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure if they played this year or not. I think the Titans might actually beat them. I'm not thinking about it. Let me look that up real quick. Let's look up the Titans' schedule. Did they play the Bills this year? If they did, I feel like I seen that game on stream. Hold on. Hey, the Patriots. I saw that. No, they didn't play the Bills though. No, they didn't play the Bills. Well, must be thinking of a different game, but yeah, interesting enough. So yeah, that'll be a first time matchup for them this season. So I go either way. So we'll see. You know, if I'm again gun in my head, I got to pick. I'm picking the Chargers over the Ravens, and I'm picking the Titans over the Bills, which will mean the Chargers versus the Titans, which we called in the previous podcast, the stream. You know, and again, I'm looking at the Chargers taking it. So I mean, hey, it's pressure. It's pressure bust pipe, but also McDiamond. So let's do it. All right, man. So that'll wrap it up, man. You know, we'll get out of here, and we appreciate y'all time and y'all energy, man. Listen to this real quick. Hope y'all enjoyed it. You know, appreciate everybody. You know, indulging us through this Madden season, and hopefully we'll kick Madden 21 off soon after 20 ends, and we'll look out for that. But in the meantime, appreciate y'all, man. We'll get back at it, and I'll see y'all on the field, man. Peace.